Literally the first row and I've already bought something. Today, I'm once again here at Bangkok's and arguably Thailand's largest secondhand market, Pattavikorn. This place is absolutely rammed with many buildings full of clothing, electronics, watches, you name it, you can find it here, as I believe this is the largest secondhand market in all of Thailand. And today I have a particular mission because I need to find out if a seller has ripped me off or not. I always like to start in the main building. This is the large building, and this is the place where you'll find the majority of variety, as some of the other buildings typically focus on clothes. But here you will find everything you can think of. Of course, there's going to be clothes piles here, but again, this place has everything. We got watches and pins over here. And of course, there's more sunglasses. Like I said, this market is pretty packed. Right now, it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's been raining pretty heavily, so I'm not sure how busy it will be today, but you just never know, so it's always worth coming out. And I think I already see something that I like. I do enjoy old electronics and things like calculators, so to me this is pretty cool. Swadee Kap. Anita Rai Hap?
I need 80 baht.
That's it. Okay, so this is 80 baht, so that's going to be about $2.60. Looks pretty cool. I wonder if it works. I'm Kurtot Kap. 60 bahtได้ไหมครับ? Okay, 60 baht. Okay, we're going to buy it for 60 baht, which is just under $2. Literally the first row and I've already bought something. I do love old calculators and things like that. I'll test it when I get home with some batteries I have and I'll let you know if it's working. But for under $2, it's definitely worth the gamble. All right, I'm excited because it was so easy. And over here, we have a whole bunch of hats. There's a ton of different hats here. They are 40 Thai baht each, or 3 for 100. So you're looking at about $1.25. And the owner is very enthusiastic. He is very friendly and he's got so many different hats. So if you're ever here at Pattavikorn, come check out the hat sale here. Some of these dealers are in these spots all the time. This market is open every day, but Saturday and Sunday are going to be your best days because that's when the majority of the dealers come here. And like I said, some of them are permanent, and there's also occasional sellers. But this guy's been waving at me every time I came by, so Swadee Kap. He's very friendly. And moving on here, we got more watches, or I should say cameras, all sorts of things. All right, guys, let's continue on. Otherwise, I'm going to be here for all day. People are just unpacking their things, and that's why you will see some swarms. Sellers come here and just dump their stuff out sometimes, especially with clothing, and people will just spend time sitting here and looking through it. And if secondhand clothing is your thing, this is absolutely the market for you. This first building is not a ton of clothing, but there are two giant areas, probably at least half this size, that are nothing but clothing. Overall, I would say that Pattavikorn is about 80% clothing, but there are always good finds here. So even if it's not clothing you're looking for, I highly recommend you come here. This guy here in the corner sells nothing but shoes, mostly used. I don't know if he has any new ones, but there are so many different types here and pretty inexpensive. So if you're looking for shoes, this vendor here and the one right across has a ton. It actually might be all one vendor as far as I can tell, but this person has like 6 stalls. But we are not here for shoes. And one of the things that I'm here for is I have a regular seller that I've been buying from for a year and a half. I've bought at least, I don't know, 100 or 200 watches from them because I collect 80s and 90s vintage Casio, Citizen, Seiko watches. And I have spent a ton of money with him over the last year and a half. And then suddenly in January, after buying a couple of watches, he didn't deliver them to me. He completely disappeared. He's not on his Facebook, but another person I know has seen him here. So I'm just wondering if he disappeared because something happened. I don't think he ripped me off for the equivalent of $20 after having done thousands of dollars of business over a year and a half. So hopefully I can find him today, get my watches or at least a refund, and see what's going on. It's still early, and I think the rain is keeping people away, so there's not a ton of buyers here so far, but it will fill up. There's another watch seller that I have bought from, so we'll have to go take a look in a second, but let's walk through the rest of this and see what is going on. If you're into amulets, there's quite a few amulet sellers here, but this is one of my favorite stalls also. If you're looking for t-shirts, These are really cool. Most of these are going to be 80 Thai baht, which is right around $2.50. Lots of really cool designs. If you're looking for anything like this, again, this is your market. Unfortunately, there is no good way to get here via public transportation, and I typically take a taxi. But I will put the link to this place down in the description below so you can see it on Google Maps and figure out a way to get here. However, I think a taxi is just the easiest way. Otherwise, you're going to have to change buses 2 or 3 times. It's about a 35-minute ride from central Bangkok, and you're looking at about 300 Thai baht, which is right around $9.50, somewhere in there. And sometimes what looks like a pile of junk could have some good things in here. Here is cosmetics and shampoo, maybe partially used, maybe brand new. Really hard to tell. We've got a bunch of DVDs over here and games, etc. Just be aware with some of the older video games that you buy is that the consoles used to be region coded. So PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, things like that, they have to be played on Japanese consoles because most of the games here sold came from the Japanese market. That guy even had some cool looking Omegas. I'm not sure if they're real or not. I'm not really an Omega guy. I like my Casios, my Seikos. I've had a few Rolexes, but you know, here in Thailand, there's so many fakes that I'm not really interested in buying any of the knockoffs. Well, this guy has something really cool that I just spotted right over here. Look at that. We've got an Iowa Discman from probably the mid-1990s. Very cool. Kurtot Hap. Anita Rai Hap? Loy Hasip. Okay. So this is going to be 150 baht. We're looking at approximately $5. No idea if it works, but man, that is a cool piece. Still has the sticker on it. Look at this. This whole box is 100 Thai baht. So these are about $3 each. All of these cameras, my goodness, I'm sure they're non-working, but if you need parts or anything like that, this would be a great little collection. All right, I just asked them a crazy question of how much for all of these cameras. They're all 100 baht each, which is about $3. I'm kind of curious what they want for all of them. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them all, but let's find out. All right, so try to buy them. He wanted 10,000 baht for all of them, which is half of what he was asking. I offered him 7, but they won't take 7. They want 8. So I don't think we have a deal. I don't know what I would do with all those cameras anyways. All right, guys, I got him convinced to do 7,500 baht. That is about $200. I'm going to keep some of these. I'm going back to the US in a couple of weeks. I'm going to take them with me. I've got a friend that buys them, collects them, so I'm going to probably sell them to him. Wise choice or not, it's about $200 for 200 cameras, so we're looking at about $1 a piece. I'll do a final count when I get home and I'll let you know what we have and I'll lay them out and show you a picture. All right, so we got 3 boxes here. I'm gonna leave them with them. I'm not worried about it, I trust them. Well, that was probably the most impulsive and crazy purchase I've made in a long time. I don't need the cameras, but you know, at that price, which I said is gonna be about $1 a piece, I know they don't work. He's tested them, he sells cameras. I just couldn't pass it up. I'm excited to get home and see what I got. I've already blown quite a bit of money and I'm only into the first few minutes of this market, so let's see what else we got. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's got one of the little arcade games. Tarai ka, ani tarai hap? Bubble, my, anan, chai, ani tarai? Haloi. Ooh. Okay, that's a little expensive. That's going to be about $12. I mean, it's not expensive, but stuff like that usually can find for a couple hundred. So I'm going to pass on that. More and more shoes. Well, these are the clog slippers. I don't really understand them. I'm not a fan. I prefer wearing full covered shoes, especially when it's raining, because the water flowing on the streets isn't exactly the cleanest. But man, I'm pretty excited to see what else. This is definitely the biggest purchase I've ever made here. So I'm excited to get home and sort through that, but let's keep going. I still got to find my guy. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that model car racing track set. Honestly, the only thing I would want out of it are the cars. I don't want the whole set. Ananta Rai Hap? I tried to buy just the 3 cars for 500 baht, but he wants 1,000 for the whole set. But I just don't want the whole set. I just really want the cars. So yeah, guys, like all of these games, these are all the Japanese games. All of these games will only play on Japanese systems. So if you have a US PS2 or PS3 or even a game system like that, they will not work. However, The PSP games are region free and they will work on any PSP no matter where they are. And usually these games are extremely cheap. They're 50 baht each, which is about $1.30, something like that. Actually, you can get them for a lot less than that. A lot of times they sell them for as low as like 20 or 30 baht, which is about 70 cents US. Even though it's only about 85 degrees today because of the rain, it is always very warm in here because of the roof that kind of traps the air. Everybody has fans. However, just be prepared that it's warm. Come here early, and if you want some of the early deals, you definitely got to come here early, or even maybe on Friday before all the regular vendors. You can see some people absolutely not set up here today at all, probably because it rained so hard this morning. However, these are good days because there's not a lot of buyers here, so the sellers are definitely more flexible. So this belt kind of caught my eye. It is 250 baht, about $8. Kind of digging the green style of it. Unfortunately, it's too small for me. Even though I've lost around 3 kilograms in the last month or so, it's not going to fit, so we're going to have to skip that. But here's another vendor that I've bought a bunch of shirts from. This guy always has really cool shirts, and his prices are really good. They're usually 100, 200 baht. It really depends. So that's actually, look at this. This is really cool. So I just asked the seller over there that sells all the tapes and records, and he said it's 100 baht, so it's $3. This is a really cool vintage hat. However, I already have a bunch of hats that I don't wear. It's just too hot, so I'm going to pass on those. But he has a bunch of records here, record players. You can test things, which is nice. You can see how they sound. His record prices are pretty good. Records are pretty expensive here in Thailand because there's so many people that are starting to collect them. And not just here, all over the world. The back of this building has a lot of clothing for sale. There's mostly shirts and pants and, well, clothing in general. It's everything. There's still another section, and then I will take you over and show you one of the large clothing sections, and there's still a whole nother place that has cool stuff like I'm looking for. We got some more cool stuff here. Look at this. It's an MD Walkman from Sony. We've got a, what is this, a Pioneer. I haven't seen many Pioneer cassette players lately. And more cameras, but I'm sure these are all functioning. We got some, look at Rolex Daytona, definitely a knockoff. This is definitely a cheap knockoff, doesn't feel right, but you can find some really good copies sometimes. Anita, right?
2005.
Ooh, Songpan, huh? Okay.
Original.
Okay. 2,500 for this guy here. So that's about what, $70 with a battery pack and everything. The trick with any of these markets is to find things out of place. And what I mean by that is find like a clothing seller that has some electronics. They obviously got it in a lot. A lot of times they don't know what they have. And if their prices are fair, you can just buy from them. A lot of times that's the best way to find good deals, is things where they don't belong. The camera being filmed by the cameraman, except that equipment is much better than mine. All right, let's move on to the other building. This one here has a ton of clothes, so I'm not going to take you all the way through it because it's just so massive, but I will show you some of the highlights in here because this place is just ginormous. It goes on, and like I said, this building is one of the buildings that has a lot more of the kind of more hip clothes over there. And if you're looking for this kind of stuff, you definitely have to come in here and check it out. It does get quite warm in here, but you can see it goes all the way down there, and then it goes all the way down there. And this is a good place. Okay, got to get away from the copyright music. But yeah, if you're looking for pants, I mean, 100 baht for pants, it's like $3. Look at this, you have shirts here for 10 baht each. That is 30 cents. Ridiculously low prices. Shirts here for 60 baht, which is just under $2. 80 baht. I mean, right now the exchange rate is approximately 32.6 baht to the dollar, so you can kind of do your own math. This whole pile is 5 baht each, or 3 for 10 baht. So at 5 baht a piece, we're looking at, what is that, like basically 10 cents US? Really cheap. And there's more piles like this throughout this place where you can just dig through and look for clothes. So if that's your thing, you're gonna love it here. The variety of this market is quite vast. Like I said, you can find everything. We've got a seller over here who has a bunch of different toys and collectibles on display. He's got like statues and then model cars and Godzilla and then even some motorcycle helmets. So you never know what you will find here. It's always worth a look. Now, in between the first building that we went to and then the second outlet is something very important. I've shown it before, but I'll show it again. There are 2 ATM machines here, and everybody here will take cash, and almost all of them, I would say 100% actually, will take scan if you have a Thai bank account. But if you need cash, this is where you need to come to so you can get some money and not be out, because if you're a tourist and you don't have a Thai bank account, it's going to be cash only. Now, before we go into this third building where I'm hoping to find my elusive watch seller wandering around, let me show you this, because this is also important. Toilets. There are several throughout, but these are the ones that are super clean. They're air conditioned. It's not free. I believe it is 10 baht, which is about 30 cents. But guys, if you need to go to the toilet, especially I think if you're a woman, you're really going to appreciate this because they're really clean. There's somebody in there cleaning them all the time, and they're great. There's a change machine here, and it's 10 baht, so just make sure you use them if you need them. And just so you guys kind of know where we are, even though I'll outline it in the video on the map and show you which building, there's the bathrooms, there's the ATM machines. Now we're entering the other building that I really like, because this place has lots of random stuff here. And like I said, the watch seller is usually wandering around. He doesn't have a booth, but I'm hoping I can find him and figure out what happened to the watches that he owes me, and hopefully I can buy some more, because I haven't bought any in 6 months, and my Casio collection is getting a little sparse because I've traded some things off. Is it real gold? I don't know. You have to find that out for yourself if you're into gold. There's definitely people selling gold here, and like any secondhand market, there's always going to be tools. We got a lot of Makitas here, so that's good if you're looking for some tools. This guy also has some good-looking electronics. You can probably tell by now that I am drawn to electronics and gadgets and stuff. While I'm looking for cameras, we've got this Sony CyberShot. The screen turns on, but the touch screen isn't working, so something has gone wrong there, unfortunately. And he wants 600 baht for this. Let's see if we can make a deal on it. 600 baht is under $20. This touch screen's not working. It does turn on, but that's about as good as it gets. Here you can see, but unfortunately, it is not working. So let's see if he'll take less. ขอโทษครับ300ได้ไหมครับ600ไม่400ไม่500 okay 500ไม่ได้ okay ขอบคุณมากครับ All right, he doesn't want to do the 500 baht. I don't really need it. It's only a difference of, $3, so we're not bargaining over much, but it's more of a question of, do I need another broken camera, considering I just bought like 200 of them. Lo and behold, he just came up to me and said he would take 500 baht, so I'm going to buy it for 500 baht, which is around $17. We'll take a gamble and see if I can fix the touchscreen and get it to work. I'm absolutely on a shopping spree today, guys. I've never bought this much stuff here, and I'm excited to see if I can get this fixed. I work in a lot of watches. I repair those, so I'm going to see if I can repair the touchscreen on the camera, because it'd be kind of cool to have something like this. More stuff over here. Oh, man, I can't help myself. Another vintage Casio calculator, but the screen on this one is fried. You can see it's got bleed in the corners, so that's not good, but got some other cool stuff. Oh, Donkey Kong. I love these old Nintendo handhelds. This thing is fried, unfortunately. ขอโทษครับ อันนี้เท่าไหร่ครับ 600 Okay, also 600. It's broken. It's not really worth that. It's missing the door. It's probably worth about 400 in this condition. In perfectly working condition, we're looking at, at least $100 for something like that. I've also got a bunch of those Nintendo handheld games in my collection, but typically non-working ones, you can pick them up for about 200 or 300, so that's double the price. We're now entering the last of what I consider the really cool buildings. This guy's got holsters and butterfly knives and airsoft guitars. This guy always has really, really cool stuff. There's a lot of like return merchandise or just items that were not sold that get dumped here, and I'm having to kind of fight with the announcers. But in this building, you'll find people selling sporting equipment, clothing, and so many things. And down here, this is where I'm going to find the watch seller usually hanging out. I hope he's here. at least for me, this building tends to have the less interesting items. It's mostly clothing and like housewares, but there is some good stuff here from time to time, and that's why I think it's important when you come to these markets to go and check out all the areas. I typically come here once every couple of months because it's just not enough variety for me to come more regularly. I just saw something really cool that I've never seen before. These are old style headphones, like from the 80s, from the Walkmans, but they're wireless. That is so freaking cool. I've never seen that. Retro's coming back. Anita, right? Samloy. Okay, so these are 300 baht, so about $9. Obviously, they've been open. Very cool. Never seen that before. Also some laptops for sale here. Let's take a look at some of the prices over here because you've got some different laptops. This one here, it looks like it's got a 4 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's an i3 Gen Core. Not sure of the price. Anita Raihap? Sipan ha? Okay. Ani? Same? Okay. So these are 4,500 baht each. So you're looking at about $150 for a used laptop. This seller's always here. They sell memory, they repair them. So if you buy from somebody like this, it's very much trusted that if you have any issues, you can come back. And this is the area where I would usually find the watch seller hanging around, but today he's not here. However, I see something really cool. This is a Diesel and this is an Adidas branded watch. I've also bought some watches from this seller. He has quite a few here. Lots of G-Shocks. Some of the prices are pretty good, some of them are not. It just depends. This isn't the guy I'm looking for, but he just called the guy I'm looking for, and he's coming here. So hopefully we can get this watch deal resolved. Now, please understand, I'm not throwing this guy under the bus, the dealer that I bought all the watches from. I really think something happened. He lost access to his Facebook because he hasn't checked in there since January, and he was posting quite regularly. So I'm by no means saying that he actually ripped me off. All along, I thought it was just some kind of a mishap, misunderstanding, and he just didn't try hard enough to get hold of me. So hopefully I can resolve this today because he was a great source for some really cool vintage watches for my collection. All right, guys, some bad news. After having some long discussions with some people who spoke English, trying to help me to talk to the guy that supposedly was going to come who had taken my money, it turns out that he probably did rip me off. Unfortunately, he would talk to them. When they put him on video with me, he hung up quickly and wouldn't answer the call. And using somebody who spoke English, it was determined that he indeed did steal from me, which makes no sense because, like I said, I spent 100,000 baht with him over the last 2 years buying watches, and then for him to rip me off for 1,200 baht, which is approximately, what, is that like $40? After I spent about $3,000 with him, just makes no sense. But so be it. I'm sure I'll run into him at some point and whatever, it's not worth it. But this nice dealer here who sells Casios, I managed to pick up some good watches from him. Picked up these 3 Casios for my collection for a total of 2,200 baht, which is right around $65. Well, it looks like my longtime seller has indeed ripped me off. Until proven otherwise, really kind of unfortunate. It's not so much the money, it's just that he was a really good source of vintage watches for me. And I'm just kind of bummed that now I don't have that source. So hopefully these other guys will be able to sell me more stuff like I just bought, because I'm always looking to add to my watch collection. Now that the drama is over, let's continue on. This section here, there's tons of assorted household toys. It's just a bunch of different stuff. I would call it junk, but I call it junk respectively because, well, one man's junk is another man's treasure. Here, it's nothing but like stuffed animals, little kids' toys. It's sold by the bag, and like, you know, this is 70 baht. It's basically, you know, $2. This is 200 baht, so we're looking at about what is that, about $6. Really good prices. And let's continue on. I'll show you some of the other parts as well. This next tip will save you some walking, and it took me about 2 or 3 years to figure out. When you come out of this building, you're looking for this walkway, because this walkway over here will allow you to go around the back of the street, and you can go to the other part of the market. Otherwise, you have to go out onto the main street to hit the market, but this is definitely the shortcut, and I will show you the other part when we walk back that we're going to skip. But guys, trust me, this is the easier way to get to the other part of the market because you can just access it so quickly. And just a short walk, and here we are. This is ridiculously faster than walking all the way out to the front and then all the way to the other part of the market. Again, this section is going to have clothes. This is a huge pile. And I believe what it says is 40 baht per basket or kilo. I'm not really sure, but people are always digging into places like this. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough of this section because it's not something I'm really interested in. But like I said before, there are all these piles and piles of clothes that people pick through. However, if you continue on, you will see vendors selling much newer and trendier things. Like we have shoes, and literally, guys, this whole section is going to be a lot more modern, hip clothes. There's a lot of younger people that are shopping here, and it is usually packed. Now, the prices tend to be a little bit higher here, but you are getting much more modern fashion. And this is a place where if you're looking, like I said, for the more kind of modern dress, the hip stuff, maybe more the punk, the goth, this is going to be the place where you're going to want to come and check out this building. I still have to go back and pick up those 3 boxes of cameras that I bought. I don't know what I was thinking buying them. When you come back on the street, you'll have to walk past the Caltech station to get to the next section and to go back where we originally started. There are lots and lots of people here today. This is another one of the markets here. We're going to skip it. It's clothing, it's all sorts of different things, but I've never really found anything in there because it's mostly furniture and clothes. And my goodness, they've got street vendors here, which is kind of the norm. However, I've never seen this many people out front of this market, so this is kind of interesting to see. And yet another section of the market, again, jewelry, clothes, miscellaneous, something I'm not too excited about. But the street vendors, you know, sometimes these are the guys that will have the interesting stuff because, well, they're not paying anything to sell here, so they're generally going to have lower prices and just kind of one-off things. And just like that, we are back on 72. It's Pattavikorn here. There's the main entrance where we came in. So we're back to square one of where we started. I hope you enjoyed another market video for me. There's plenty more to come. Guys, please make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very soon in another episode.